Thank you for listening to this PodcastOne production. Now available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, PodcastOne.com, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
Steve Austin Show is brought to you free today by our friends at BetOnline. The casinos may be closed, but the BetOnline casino never closes. Let them bring Vegas to you. Get in the mix at betonline.ag and use the promo code PodcastOne for your 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts and exclusive partner of PodcastOne Sportsnet.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
I'm inside of a tour bus with John Cena, the lead dog here in the WWE right now, and we've been talking for 15 minutes. John's on a tight schedule, squeezing my ass in here right before they go live at 5 p.m. here in Los Angeles, and I wasted 15 minutes because I had the pause button pushed. But we thought we were talking, and it sounded real good.
Guys,
anyway,
you missed some great stuff. We found the meaning of life.
Pay-per-view listed stuff, but we go, and I'm not going to I'm not going to redo that.
No,
what I do want to bring to the first thing I want to say then, now that we are recording, is I want to say congratulations on a hellacious run. Your run that you're currently seemingly right in the middle of, because I see 3, 6, however many years you want to keep going in front of you, or whenever you put the brakes on, but you're putting together one of the best runs in the history of our business. And it's been through, everybody knows, I do my show for the working man, and you have worked your ass off ever since you got into business. And I remember one time back in the day, I was stone cold, don't remember the building, you had just had a match, you was the prototype.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. It might have actually been either here or Anaheim.
Now, who would have figured? Yeah, I think it was.
And
but
I
who would
think
have
that
figured
still
back
goes
in the
down in the
days when
annals
you was
of
the
worst
prototype?
dark matches in the history.
And now here we are. And that's, how long is that? It's probably 14,
yeah,
15
just about
ago?
14 years ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
And you was a good-looking kid, and we had words, and can't remember what exactly it was. I didn't know what the prototype was, but obviously you looked good, but didn't have the gimmick figured out.
Yeah, it was just right as I broke into the business, trying to find out what it's all about.
What was the thought process behind the prototype?
You know what? You know the cat, Chris Bell, of the Bell family, Mark Bell's brother.
Yes.
Saw me in Gold's Gym and said, "What are you doing wasting your time here?" I was just working literally, I'd show up to work at 5 a.m, and I lived in my car outside, so I'd shower in the gym at night and do whatever. Right. I'd pretty much hump till midnight and do everything from work the protein bar stand to work check-in to fix equipment, everything in there.
Right.
Bell comes up to me and says, "Why are you wasting your time?"
And he's referring to Mark Bell, known as Smelly Bell. And
his brother Chris.
Chris did Bigger, Faster, Stronger.
Yep.
And give a shout out here to Mark Bell over at Super Training Gym in Sacramento, California.
Yep.
Strongest gym in the West.
Strongest gym in the West, indeed.
He's the guy we're referring to.
So we used to talk Raw and WCW all the time. We used to talk WWF and WCW all the time. And they finally just said, "Why are you wasting your time?" Straight up. I got a guy who's training us. Smelly was training at the time. He said, "If you've ever been interested in doing this, it's going to cost you a little bit to get in, but I think you should come down and take a look." And as soon as I saw a ring, as soon as I saw Rick Bassman's UPW piece of crap ring, I knew I wanted to at least give it a try.
But were you a fan growing up?
Absolutely.
Because you come from the Boston area, right?
I did, and I come from I don't think there is a normal family system, but I come from a family of 5 boys.
Right.
My dad was certainly a working man, worked his ass off, but wasn't into watching sports. He'd never sit down and watch football on a Sunday. We would watch wrestling. And he loved wrestling. My dad was the first family in West Newbury to get cable, so he could watch NWA, AWA, World Class, Glow, and WWF as much as he could. And that's the only time, like, I never played catch with my dad. Let's go outside and work on fielding ground balls or work on your stance. That wasn't my dad. My dad was, okay, let's have a battle royal in the living room. And he would be in it. And he just,
I'd like the coolest dad in the world.
It really was awesome. But growing up in a small town, we were the one pro wrestling family in the small town, so we beat each other up, and we'd try to be as as energetic at school, and it just oftentimes didn't fit.
Hey, what kind of student were you? Good grades?
I wasn't going to make Dean's List, but I wasn't I definitely wasn't a troublemaker.
But did you have to crack the books and apply a little bit of effort, but you just kind of got by?
If I look back, I wish I applied more effort.
Right.
So I wish I had done a little bit better, but I learned, I went to boarding school as a junior and a senior. So I lived away from home at age 16. And the lessons I learned about life from 16 to the time I finished college, so much better than anything I could learn in the classroom.
But so then what was that? Being self-sufficient? Relying on yourself, getting things done?
Not having that safety blanket there to fall through. You know, I went to preparatory school on financial grant. So I was one of there's rich kids that go there and there's poor kids that go there. And I was one of the poor kids. So I had to wash dishes. I had to, work at the student store and do whatever I could. And then when I went to college, I had to work student security and work in the student store again and supervise the dorm rooms and take these crappy jobs that caught me a lot of heat but would give me a paycheck every week just so I could get by.
Now you ended up, I didn't even bust out my notes, but I got all this down. The name of the college you went.
Springfield College.
Springfield College.
Yeah.
And you were an exercise physiology major. You got a degree.
Yes, I did.
What were your plans to do with that degree?
You know what? This is such a awkward thing to say, but I wanted to go to college to play football.
Yeah, and you did.
Yeah.
But you played Division III and you were All-American.
I was an All-American. I was a team captain. As a 18-year-old, I really wasn't looking to 25 or 35.
And not too many people are.
So when I picked my major, I just picked something that I knew about. I knew about the health and fitness industry. I knew about working out. It was really a passion of mine, still is to this day. So I figured it would be an easy major. And it was, not because the classes were a cakewalk, because I was interested in it. But after I graduated, I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. And I ended up just coming out to Venice because I figured that was like the mecca of health and fitness. I'll find work there.
And you'd been banging around the gym, during your college days.
Yeah.
And so were you competing already?
I had, as far as bodybuilding was concerned, I grew up in a really piece of crap gym in Amesbury, Massachusetts called Hard Knocks. That was just run by a hard-nosed dude.
Right.
If Mick from Rocky could be real life, that dude would be Dave Knock.
Right.
And he kind of instilled in me at a very young age, there is no substitute for hard work. You show up, you clock in, you get shit done, period.
Right.
And anything else is an excuse, and they don't tolerate that. And,
right.
And the cool thing about Dave was, even at his age, he would hang right with you. So it's not, I also learned that there's folks that just stand there and bark at you like a drill sergeant and never lift one weight. But the dude who can be right next to you, going through the struggle with you, and then say, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. Like, there's something to be said about that.
Right.
So he kind of instilled that into me at a young age. And when I used to come home from prep school, he would have me kind of follow a bodybuilding regimen just to stay in shape over the summer. He didn't want me slacking. And then when I was 18, I was looking all right. And he was like, hey, we want to throw you into the show at the end of the summer. Right. And that became like the tradition. I'd go play football during the school year. I'd come home, and my off-season regimen was like a bodybuilder program, so I could show up to the preseason lean and ready to go.
Right. Now, dude, you got good genetics from a bodybuilding standpoint. But, dude, you're also one of the strongest cats I've seen in the gym. Some of the stuff you've done in the ring, it kind of blows my mind. Some of the bodies you've been throwing around. What are your best in the three lifts? I know you like Olympic-style lifting.
Yep. But
let's talk powerlifting right now. Let's talk about the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift, because I know you just hit a new PR on the bench.
Yeah, finally, after chasing it for about 4 years, I PR'd at a 481 bench. I put that on Twitter. You can see it at John Cena. I try to keep the fans up to date with kind of what I'm doing. Best squat ever is 600. Best deadlift ever is 664. And thank you, Mark Bell, for the deadlift advice and the benching advice. He kind of taught me how to bench and how to deadlift, so I owe him for those PRs. But people watch our business, and they know it's entertainment. And they think a lot of what we do is smoke and mirrors. A lot of it is just guys focusing on their strengths.
Right.
And I've been blessed with the ability to work hard and stay strong. And I kind of like showing that off in the ring. But just so people don't know or don't think it's, that isn't really what it is. I also like to, using social networks, let my fans in on the fact that, listen, this is really happening. This is really going on. This is really how we train.
One of the things I like about you, John, is every time I've seen you, you always have a smile on your face. And I've seen you when you had a smile on your face and you were smiling through pain and being dead dog tired. But you have always had a smile on your face. And that's the straight up truth. The schedule is absolutely crazy. It's highly demanding. You paid a lot of damn dues. You are having such an interesting run in the business. It's almost like you're walking on the edge of a razor blade. Sometimes you get into an arena, and I'm watching Monday Night Raw, you have some of the people booing you.
Yeah.
You have some of the people, most of them cheering you. And I always look at that.
It depends on the city.
Yeah, it depends on the city,
Yeah.
Of the percentage of which way it goes.
Oh yeah.
But I always and people once they pay their money for that ticket, they have the right to do exactly what they want to do.
Sure.
That's what they're there for.
Absolutely.
But they all do it, from my opinion, with respect. There's not one person out there, I think, that can watch the program and not have a ton of respect for what you do. But when you go out there and you get that mixed reaction, what's going through your head? Because, from my days in the ring, you're trying to be either a babyface 100% or a heel 100%, love or hate, and you're walking that razor blade each and every single night. Does that mess with your head?
No, not at all. I've been fortunate enough to be surrounded by some good people in this business, and getting feedback from you, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Undertaker, even some of the producers, Pat Patterson, Arn Anderson, Vince McMahon himself. I've just been able to look at this product objectively. I take myself out of the equation, and I kind of understand where I am. This is the stuff that I obsess over. I can't stop thinking about this stuff. I think a lot of the reason the reactions are the way they are is for quite a few years, WWE didn't step up to the plate and correctly build new superstars and correctly provide new main event talent. I often tell people that I'm working with, if they're in the ring and half the fans are cheering me and the other half are booing me, shouldn't you be the one that's mad? Because they're not noticing you at all. And people talk about being a babyface and being a heel. What happens when there's no one?
Right.
And that's honestly the thing. I wish, and right now I'm very excited, not only for stuff like the WWE Network, but I think we are on the cusp of getting a true all-star lineup for the first time in a long time. We have a lot of guys who are,
some bright
if
spots
not making some noise, that are about to make some serious noise. And I think you'll see that go away. And I'm objectively looking at it.
Right.
Because when you have one dude and you're trying to make superstars off of that dude, a majority of the audience just recognizes that one guy.
Right.
And that's why when you have a feud with Daniel Bryan or a feud with The Rock, you don't hear the "let's go Cena sucks" as much. It's cheer for one guy, boo the other guy.
Right.
But when it's a one-man party out there, oftentimes the crowd is attached to the one man.
Right. We've had conversations in the past. It's great to be hot. It's great to be hot, but you need somebody to dance with. It's all about the dance part.
And I mean, it's not that what we have isn't good.
No.
I could waste 4 hours talking about the state of the business, setbacks I think guys can't overcome. I think we have a locker room full of very, very talented superstars, but I also think we have a locker room full of superstars that are fearful for their employment and are not willing to take that one step, that Austin 316 whipped your ass, or that put a hat on backwards and a chain around your neck when no one else is doing it.
Go out on a limb.
Go out on a limb.
Hey, man, the good folks over at Right Guard recently sent me some of their extreme antiperspirants and aluminum-free deodorant, and I have to say, I dig them. I'm a fan of both. Right Guard formulas are designed to defend against sweat, odor, and stains with up to 72 hours of protection. I might have got up to 73 hours. The Right Guard research team has stepped up to the plate to help prevent yellow stains by finding a way to protect from stains without lowering the level of antiperspirant protection. Gone are the days when you have to choose between a fresh feeling and a yellow pit stain. Throughout the entire antiperspirant lineup, get it all. The sweat and odor protection you expect while fighting yellow stains. Want to go aluminum-free? Right Guard's extreme aluminum-free deodorants also have odor defense technology to give you protection for up to 72 hours, immediately targeting odor and neutralizing it, resulting in long-lasting protection from odor, keeping you smelling fresh for days. Right Guard's extreme aluminum-free deodorants are not only free of aluminum, but it's also free from alcohol, talc, and parabens. Right Guard antiperspirants and aluminum-free deodorant don't feel greasy or sticky. They go on smooth and last. Try Right Guard today, because I said so.
I feel sometimes when I come back every now and then and just kind of observe what's going on, and I'll probably step into the building here in a little bit, but I know a lot of guys are walking on eggshells because there is no other place to go. There is no alternative.
Yeah.
Can you go to the indie scene? Yes, you can. And I say this with all due respect to anybody on the indie scene, living their dream, doing their thing, having fun. When you're at this show, when you're at the level that you're at, there is no indie scene.
No.
It's this or nothing. And for these new cats coming up, it's great to get noticed on the indie scene, but this is where you want to be. With only one game in
play
town.
for the Yankees.
Yeah, you want to play for the Yankees. But with only one game in town, I agree with you. I just think people are afraid to go out on a limb and take a chance. And like you said, to your point, the 316, the hat, the backwards, the chain.
Just taking
the
a
rap
chance.
Type thing.
And everyone thinks, critics especially, because critics just criticize. Everyone thinks that I was just handed the key to the city.
You were not.
People have to remember I wasn't anybody's first choice. If you're
were not.
If you're looking at a bench of people, I'm last on the bench. And it was an extraordinary set of circumstances with the entire WWE roster that I even got a chance. And I knew that. I wasn't blind to what was going on. So what did I do with that chance? I made the most out of it. And I took risk after risk after risk. Countless weeks in a row, I was told by producers and Vince himself that I would be fired if I kept taking those chances.
Right.
But the one thing remained the same. I would go out there and the audience would relate.
Right.
And in a business sense, where you're in the business of entertainment, whether it's opinionative. It's like floor gymnastics. I scored a 10. You scored an 8. Why?
Highly
Because
subjective.
I like this. Yeah, exactly. But the one constant is noise. And if you go out there to noise, then you're doing okay. And the thing that really, I don't get mad at a lot nowadays. The only thing that really frustrates me is when I see a guy with all the tools or next to all the tools who is just afraid to take that leap of faith. Because if you believe in yourself enough, and the best advice I got on psychology of WWE in general was from Shawn Michaels. And he said, if it's really loud, or if they're really loud, it was really good.
Right.
And that's it. And a lot of stuff, looking back at what people say, like work rate or whatever. If they're really loud, it was good. Because our job is to make the audience loud and make everything exciting and make everything heartfelt. And I think that's where the polarization of John Cena comes from. People know they're getting me.
Right.
I speak from the heart. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. You're getting me, no BS. Just like they were getting you. They got Steve Austin. When Stone Cold went down that ramp, there wasn't a second you didn't believe you were Stone Cold Steve Austin. And as a fan, that's what I can relate to. And that's what I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. And that's why I can keep a smile on my face, because I love what I'll do. And I'll be the guy who I'm going to play along with the plan.
Right.
But when you want me to do something, have some faith in me as a professional that I'm going to go out and do it my way.
Right. Before I go to the Royal Rumble match with you and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
How much creative input do you have in everything that you're doing right now? Because I would imagine they're going to brush up by you, but you're carrying a pretty big stick right now.
Oddly enough, you hear these stories about guys planning their own future and whatever. I'm not really good at quote unquote booking stuff. I don't understand that. I don't want to say it doesn't interest me. But I'm good with, hey, we have this for you. Okay, I'm going to take this. I'm going to try to make it great.
I would say I was kind of in the same boat with you. I'm kind of, okay, give me that steak, and then let me put a little salt and pepper on it. That's probably what I was best suited for.
And that's actually, it's helped me in a way, because I never look forward to this or hang my hat on, well, I got this great idea, and they didn't use it. So many guys are like, they didn't use my idea.
Right.
They just don't do that. You have to be able to take the steak that they give you, even if it's Waffle House thin, and make it taste good.
Right.
So I get excited about working with new guys or giving new guys an opportunity. There's also so many people out there that will say, he's just hogging the spotlight and he won't even give anybody a chance. I could give you a list as long as the Constitution. And please, let's do this. I think this guy has potential. Let's go with him. And that started back in Albany with Edge when we did the Elimination Chamber, and he won his first championship. Every single person who had a thought on that told me not to do it.
Right.
But I thought it was going to be great.
Right. Hey, let's talk about the Royal Rumble match with you and Randy Orton just a couple of weeks ago as we speak. It was very interesting. Obviously,
I loved it.
I'm still in the business. I mean, I'm out of the business, but I'm in it.
And anytime you can say something's interesting after seeing what you've seen, that's good.
But, you guys, I think it's a matchup that they've seen a lot. And all of a sudden, maybe they wanted a little bit more Daniel Bryan or whatever. He's heading into the Royal Rumble. And so there you are, the top guy with another top guy to premier hands, and the audience is going absolutely crazy with the cat calls and different names, and you guys in there trying to tell you a story. Man, I don't hear very well, but you put me in a squared circle that's 20 by 20, I can hear a mouse fart way up there at row 100. Yeah. And so when you're in there, you do something to elicit a response. Based on that response, you proceed accordingly.
Sure.
All of a sudden, when that crowd's not giving you that feedback, what was going through your mind? I mean, I know you've been there way more times than I have. So what's going through your mind when something like this is happening?
Debatable, but oftentimes you find in certain cities, certain circumstances, certain audiences, the audience after WrestleMania, the day after WrestleMania, anytime, sometimes we go to Toronto, sometimes we go to Montreal, an audience for the Royal Rumble. It is the most diehard WWE collection of the universe that we get.
Right.
And amazingly enough, disinterest is silence. It's absolute silence.
Right.
When you see people walking up to the concourse to go get nachos and a beer,
Right.
that's when you got to reevaluate yourself as a professional.
Right.
But if they're just blatantly cat call after cat call after cat call, a lot of the nights, I've often said this, the WWE Universe is our biggest superstar. Because if you film our show in an empty arena,
Right.
it's not as exciting.
Right.
But with all that chaos going back in the crowd, and our audience likes to be involved, like chants can spread like wildfire.
Right.
So if you get a group of 1,000 that starts chanting one thing, pretty soon the whole arena is going to be chanting. And as a professional, when all those chants have nothing to do with you, I even think there was a "We Want Divas" chant or an "End This Match" chant. But through all that, through the 30-minute cat call episode that we had, there were undeniable moments where people regained interest in what we were doing.
Right.
And in those circumstances where the audience wants to be the star of the show,
Right.
it's best to just let them be the star of the show.
Right.
That's it. I mean, I wish I could have a magic hat and produce Daniel Bryan to whip both of our asses and save the day. But the company has a plan. That wasn't on the plan that night. And so it's Randy and I out there doing the best we can to give the audience what they want. And when they completely just don't want to see you and see another guy, at least they're telling you they don't want to see you. It's not, well, let's go get a T-shirt.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. I always, years of dealing with the mixed response has kind of ingrained that in my head. The one time you really need to be worried is when they go up and get a T-shirt.
Here we go.
All right, go ahead.
The STF. Is that what it's called?
Step over, toe hold, face lock it.
Yes. You got to snug that thing up for me. Please?
I'll do my best.
With currently no NBA, NHL, or MLB, you might think there's nothing to bet on. Well, you'd be wrong. Our exclusive partner, BetOnline, still has hundreds of sports, events, and games to wager on, or let them bring Vegas to you with their online casino and blackjack. All open 24 hours a day and all online. The BetOnline casino never closes. If you're into props and entertainment betting, you can still bet on Survivor, Big Brother, American Idol, stock prices, and even the weather. Sign up today for a free account at betonline.ag and use the promo code PodcastOne. That's Podcast ONE for a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, your online wagering solution.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
What are you passionate about other than cars? I mean, well, I know. As we talk, is a lot of times you would just go to your gym. You got a badass gym down in Florida.
Yep.
And you said you just spent a couple hours in there training. I get that. I know you love the iron.
Yeah.
But what else do you do when John Cena is not working and you're working damn near 24/7 every single day because you love to be on the road? What else do you do?
Honestly, Steve, it's going to sound extremely one-dimensional, but I know a crazy older gentleman that's just as one-dimensional that's going to sit at gorilla position tonight. I think about this. I think about WWE as a whole, not just me as a performer, because this is a very ego-driven, selfish business. And a lot of people think of it from their perspective and not the perspective. I think of ways we can better the company, better ourselves. I'm taking Mandarin in my off time to try to expand our markets in China because with all
how's that going?
It's a tough language, but we don't have enough development in China. We should be better over there. We should
cats over
there, and they love entertainment. The economy is thriving. They've developed a strong middle class, a strong upper middle class. They love entertainment.
Right.
And WWE translates language.
Right.
But for some reason, they don't understand what we do. And for us to be able to get into a market like that and to be able to tour over there, to be able to be televised over there, to be able to bring the network over there, that would be an enormous financial boost to the machine. So in my off time, I lift, I drive around from the gym to my house, and I'm trying to get us into China, I guess.
So how's the Mandarin lessons going? How far down the road are you?
I've been studying for about a year now in my off time. So it works out to be, on average, 2 to 4 hours a week.
Now, dig this. Back in the day when I was living in Atlanta, Georgia, started going back and forth to Japan, I figured I'd get the big idea and get one of them 16 cassette language kits. I listened to one cassette. I could say Simose and something else. And that was all I got. So with this process, what's your you got an instructor working with you?
I do. I'm not good with the cassettes. I'm not good with the web. Like, they want to do FaceTime stuff. I'm good like this, talking with someone, because they can get a feel for me. They can get a feel for what I want out of the language, how I want to communicate. So I have a good tutor, and we meet whenever I can. It's not much time. So it's going to be, I think in a year, I would be the equivalency of like achieving like a freshman education in Mandarin.
Right.
So it's going to take a long time.
Gotcha.
But China will always be there.
I like I said, I keep saying I do this show for the working man, and I'm sitting here in your bus, and I talk to you on occasion. How often we talk, man? Every couple of months.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, it's not long enough, because you always have insightful advice. I remember a story between you and I. And it's always been, oddly enough, you've always just been kind of a ship passing in the night.
Yeah.
But I remember after it'd been a while since you've been back, but you were around, and I was on SmackDown, and I had seen the worst of times, like when everybody was gone,
right,
and they brought up the OVW class, and we were doing, events in DC with 700 people paid.
Right.
So I saw some pretty bad stuff, and we were at Staples, and it was looking pretty good. And I had started getting a little bit of shine. I was feeling pretty good. And you, in classic Austin form, you actually came up, "How you doing, kid?" I said, I'm doing pretty good. "Everything going all right?" Yeah, it's actually going pretty good. Like, program's doing great and everything's doing great. And we were at the gateway so you could see inside the arena of the Staples Center. And you just said to me, "Hey, what's that up there?" "What do you mean?" "That black curtain. We didn't have that type of shit when I was performing. This place was sold out." "All right, kid, good talk." And then you just walked away. And it was a subtle hint to, no matter how good you think you're doing, you can always do better. And you were so good.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to stick it up your ass.
No.
Because I've heard you tell the story before, and I didn't mean it as an insult.
It wasn't taken as an insult. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of this business is false motivation. They'll pat you on the butt and say, "Oh, good match. Right when you come through Gorilla, they'll pat you on the butt. "Oh, you did great." I wish there was more motivational reinforcement like that. Because that day, I was like, you know what? I'm not quitting until this place is sold out. And when it's sold out, we're doing LA Coliseum. Right. And when that's sold out, we're going to do, San Francisco's ballpark. Like, you get the perspective of, man, you may be doing good, but do not ever rest. Do not ever settle. As long as you're riding this train, your goal is to make it better, period. And I took that to heart, honestly.
Dude, I mean, anybody and anywhere can apply that to their life.
Honestly, I think so. And you say I walk around with a smile on my face. I do, because I try to take that approach to life in general. I've seen guys in this business come and go with bad attitudes, and it consumes them, which sucks, and it rots the people around them, which equally sucks. And this is a pretty good gig.
And I've seen guys come in with an okay attitude, all of a sudden get a little TV time, develop a bad attitude because they get the big head, and they think, okay, now all of a sudden, and that's one of the things that I just cannot stand, to see a kid get a little television time, and all of a sudden the head gets big and they lose perspective. You should never, ever lose perspective in anything you do. And the people you passing on the way up is going to be the people you passing on the way down, man. Always treat somebody the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
With respect.
And we all, as human beings, we have our good days and our bad days.
Absolutely.
That is totally understandable.
It's okay to have a bad day.
But just swimming upstream the whole way, I don't understand it. We get to go out there, and
it's the greatest job in the world.
It beats sitting in a cubicle, man.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean,
I love it.
Nothing but great memories from my time in the business. I always talk to you about longevity.
Yeah.
God dang it, kid, I don't think you need to take this bump right here. Well, I know, and you still take a lot of high-risk bumps.
Yes.
Because you want to entertain the people.
Yeah.
And so, how are you feeling physically? I mean, you're still lifting heavy weights. You just had the PR on the bench. I mean, you look like $1 million. So you're taking good care of yourself. How's the body feeling?
I'm doing the best I can. I feel great. I'll be turning 37 in April. I know you just had a birthday. It was probably a while back.
Yep.
Congratulations on your birthday.
Yep. Happy birthday on yours coming up. I mean, 37 is, you're very young in the business. I mean, you're a veteran. I mean, you've been in the business a long time, but that's still, I mean, you're even more peak years are ahead of you.
Yes. But in your plea for longevity, you can't be young in the ring all the time. So
right.
I still feel as if I can keep up with anybody that walks through the door. And that's kind of why I do what I do. And, I have a certain amount of stuff that I probably do regularly on a television basis, but every once in a while I want to try to do some stuff that's unique and make people go, wow, that's why I've been watching them for so long. And just our product is moving towards more action and less talk.
Is that good?
I think it's good in the respect for international market, because the promos, if you're in Japan, if you're in China, if you're in Mexico, if you're in India, they don't necessarily speak the language. And if we don't have a good translation team over there, if I turn WWE on with no volume and I see two guys in the ring going at it, I understand it, no matter where I'm at.
Right.
Sometimes the talking stuff from a global standpoint isn't where it needs to be. Plus, I think more action gives guys who can actually work more opportunity.
Yeah, but there's still, I mean, in the vein of building characters and personalities, there's a lot of backstage skits.
You're not talking to Lou Thez, man. Right. I like the talking. I like the entertainment. I like the character building. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. But you know the deal. Okay, guys, we're going into the Attitude Era. Okay, guys, the Attitude Era is over. Okay, guys, we're going to more action.
Well, they kind of come and go.
That's the thing. Yeah. It's just the wave the business is riding now. And if you either adapt or you get out.
Hey, man, let's talk a little bit about promos.
Sure.
You, on a promo, I'm going to give you an A+. You got something to say. It's a message that I can understand and feel, and you're very articulate and eloquent. A lot of that's coming out of your head. A lot of it's coming out of your heart. I don't see a whole lot of paper in the life of John Cena.
And that goes to speaking and actions in the ring too. Arn Anderson has been my longtime right hand and,
awesome
and mentor as a producer, as we call him. And his format of a John Cena match is an empty page, and I like that because I like being able to go out there and do my best to try to feel the audience. And every once in a while, there's a crowd that wants to be the crowd.
Right.
But for the most part, you get to modify your performance and try to make it interesting. And that's what we do. And
but on a verbal level,
when speaking, I've always lived and died by, if all else fails, just be honest with them. And I think that's what people can take away from me. And that's why, like, so many people enjoy what I have to say or effing hate what I have to say, because I have a set of ideals. I stand by them. And if you don't like it, you're going to say you don't like it, But
that being said, it's a great promo because it's coming from your heart.
I think, yeah, and it's not, you can tell, Steve, I can tell in 6 words if somebody's reading off a page.
I can too. And I can see it in their eyes because I can see their eyes and I can see there ain't nothing behind them. Yeah. And I don't feel anything coming through those speakers on my TV. I got a pretty good TV. People afraid to go on a limb.
Yeah, honestly, that's all it is. It's just lack of confidence. And the amazing thing is, a lot of these guys are so confident once they're in that box and the bell rings, doing their thing. And they know, I've talked to a lot of guys, they have such great personality. Like whenever we want to go with someone or whenever there's any sign of potential in someone, I always try to get to spend some time with them and know them at a personal level because you can know them. Jim Ross was brilliant at this. When he would scout guys, because I remember he scouted me.
Right.
I would spend so much time talking to JR, just talking, and he developed a sense of knowing you and knowing who you were.
Right.
And that helps when he goes to say, "This kid's got something." I know he's got something. I don't. I know
What
he's
was
not
your
your
first conversation with Jim Ross? Did he know you had something? Because you had a great look from the word go.
It was in the Roxy Theater in Los Angeles. And unfortunately, it was a very brief conversation because it was for Rick Bassman's UPW. And this was Jim Ross in the height of everything, coming to see our little podunk show. And everyone wanted his attention. And all I did was go up, shake his hand. I said, Mr. Ross, it's very nice to meet you. Hopefully I'll see you again soon, and left. And that was because everyone was just hawking him, man. I didn't want to see like that guy. I gave him a firm handshake, looked him in the eye. I said, it's nice to meet you. I hope to see you again soon. And shortly after that, he shipped me off to Kentucky, and he would on the regular come and check up on all of us. It wasn't just me.
Right.
Like that's really one thing that he did well is he really knew his talent personally,
Here's a message from our sponsor, ZipRecruiter. Right now, we cannot be overwhelmed. We have to work to keep our loved ones safe and protect our communities. We have to work to stay strong, to stay connected, to stay focused. We have to work to inspire, to innovate, to build new solutions. But for all of this to work, we have to work together. As ZipRecruiter, we connect employers and people every day. But today is different. We are partnering with first responders, government officials, the medical community, the innovators, and the manufacturing, transportation, and food distribution industries to make sure we are finding the right people for the right jobs right now. Let's work together. ZipRecruiter.com/work together.
The announcing game has changed a lot.
Yeah.
Don't talk so much about what's happening in the ring specifically, or help tell the story of what's going on in the ring from a visual standpoint. That being said, Michael Cole, JBL, Jerry Lawler do an outstanding job of doing what they do, but the machine has changed. Your thoughts on that? Because, man, and I'm not just saying Jim Ross, but I liked hearing about that story. I like, that the guys or the gals were telling in the ring.
People, I think people, when it comes to this business, will always have their favorites. I think people who listen to Gordon Soley call them.
Yeah, and I'm not picking favorites. I'm just talking about the disbursement of information.
What I'm saying is it's okay to pick favorites.
Yeah.
I used to love Gorilla Monsoon.
I did too.
Like
I love this, and he could go way off and be crazy and corny, but sometimes the way he said stuff, I just loved it.
I think it's kind of like I said, the machine itself changes and adapts, and is not afraid to create the next movement, like the network and like the PG era, and like even switching the focus of commentary. We have so much information to give our audience. Hey, we have an application out. Hey, this is us on social networks. Hey, there's a network, by the way.
Into a nuclear physicist. There's a lot of information coming out there. Yeah.
So we have to educate our audience on, we have this coming up. We have this coming up. This is how you use this. This is, and that takes airtime. So with all that information, it's very difficult to focus on the action at hand. But I think the guys do, like you said, I think the guys do an outstanding job of carrying the show, especially now that it's 3 hours long.
Yep.
Which I think is
Let's go to
ambitious.
That. Let's talk about a 3-hour Monday Night Raw, because you were around for the 2-hour Raw. A lot of these cats just coming in the system came into a 3-hour system. Mm-hmm. So you've seen that change. You felt that change. You're right in the middle of it right now. How is that 3 versus 2?
I think in a live event capacity, and I've done 250 live events a year for 12 years now. So that's a lot of live events.
That's an ass load of work, people. That's working your ass off. Go ahead.
I really think the optimum time, it's almost like when you're watching a movie. Movies are 90 minutes. They're a little bit more than 90 minutes. My window is 2.5 hours.
Right.
2.5 hours from green flag to checker.
Right.
And I think that's just that optimum time where even if it's 2.5 balls to the wall and people want more and they want to come back. And now we tape programming before Raw. There is Raw and there's post Raw. It's a stretch. I think the creative department and I think the superstars are doing the best they damn well can to carry that 3 hours, and it's going to be a transition. But ratings are holding steady, and apparently people want to see it. So that, I mean, I have my own little data that I think, I think this.
Yeah.
And then they come with the real data and say, well, you thought wrong.
Right.
It's just it's tough to carry. It is. It's from a performance standpoint, being on segment 1, opening the show, and then having a main event match towards the end of the show. That's a lot of time to think and interpret, and it's tough. But I mean, That's why we do what we do, because we're over in the WWE.
Hey man, let's talk just a little bit about what's going on down there in Orlando, Florida, with the Performance Center. Y'all are cranking out cats. How many cats are down there at a specific time? They got football players, athletes, people off the street.
I think they got about 70 to 100 current superstars in training down there.
Superstars in training.
But the purpose is to have a lot.
Yeah,
and
damn right, because you got to weed through those cats.
You do, and the purpose of building the Performance Center was to attract more superstars to WWE.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, it was easy.
Yeah.
You go to a territory. I like this guy. He's coming to play for us. I like this guy. He's coming to play for us.
There was a training ground. There was places for them to get their chops.
By the way, by the time they got to New York, they would already be seasoned.
Yes.
And the system just kept on moving. Now, with the fall of WCW, it was about 15 years ago maybe.
Yeah.
We have hit the point where we can no longer draw. You can no longer pick from certain promotions or even the competition. We have to develop our own. So we're now in that point of being just open. Like, this is where you go to train. By the way, it's just as good as any Division I college facility. You'll get you'll get everything you need to be ready for WWE on the road. I think it's a fantastic move. The facility is beautiful. The TV facility is beautiful. If you can't make it there, you just don't have it. That should be the slogan of the place.
But
WWE Performance Center. If you can't make it here, you just weren't meant for it.
But the thing about it, I mean, it was a great move by WWE to do this. I mean, because you must to survive. Yeah. If you cannot rely on the indie scene out there and some of these cats and whatever kind of training they've had, it's about being self-sufficient.
Forever, Vince has been so good at adapting. And that's, I truly admire that about him. He has such foresight, and his ability to adapt to stuff that I would never even think about. That is such an admirable trait. And I think he's just ahead of the curve once again. Like, okay, we have to advertise this. We have to make it the big deal. Right. NXT is going to go on the network. Like I said, those guys who are in their infancy are now going to have opportunity in front of the world. Like, I remember wrestling in Danny Davis's gym in OVW, Kentucky in front of 50 people, and that was our TV broadcast.
Yeah.
We do Sunday shows in front of 12 people.
Yeah.
And that was a little booth in a brick building with no bathroom. But it was awesome. But times have changed. I could say, well, back in my day this and back in my day that. Yeah. I loved those times, but I would also love to have the luxuries they have in the Performance Center now.
Right. Hey, when you look at where you're at right now, we're sitting on a badass tour bus, and you've made well for yourself. You like I said, you just putting together one of the best runs in the history of the business, and I'm so proud of you. But when you go back and talk about those old OVW days, a little old dark, piece of junk facility, 50 cats in the audience. I mean, those were probably some of the best moments you've ever had in your life.
I don't talk to Nick Dinsmore enough, but Nick and I were real close in those early years and stayed close for a while afterwards. And we always refer to that time as Camelot, because it was.
Right.
I mean, you slept in your own bed every night. You were driving from town to town, and it was all through Kentuckiana and down in Tennessee a little bit. And it was just a lot simpler. You were learning the business. You were kind of finding your way. We had great mentors in Danny Davis and Jim Cornette. So we had a good minds around us.
Right.
I was in an unbelievable class of talent. Me, Dave Bautista, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, Ron Waterman, Brian Keck, Sylvester Terkay. Just a group of superheroes. So. And we had a great group of Kentucky kids who were unbelievable in the ring and knew how to work, and they made us all look better than we were, and we were very grateful for that. And it was just, it was a great time. It was a great time.
I was going down the road one day, USWA. I was traveling with Dutch Mantel, Chris Champion, and I was going to work with Danny Davis that night. I'd seen the card. And so, man, I'm a young guy in the business, not even a year. And, of course, Danny Davis, Nightmare Danny Davis, has been in probably at that time 15 years and was a hell of a hand, great psychology, premier worker. And so I figured, man, I ain't got to think about nothing. Because I always call all my matches because I don't hear very good. And so, I'm just going to listen to Danny, because he's the veteran. And by all rights, I should. And so I just went up to him before we went out. I said, hey, Danny, I said, anything you want to do tonight? He goes, no, I'll just listen to you. I said, and this is the kind of guy Danny Davis is. I said, Danny, I didn't think of anything all day. I just figured I'd listen to you because, you're you.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, kid. He goes, I seen your work. You got it. If you get lost out there, I'll give you a hand. And that's what Danny Davis did for me back in the day, and trusted me and got me out of a couple of jams that night in the ring. And I always loved working with him. One quick story: we had a battle royal one time. You know, Danny used to like to chop people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so I backed him in a corner. I started chopping him about 3 times, and he spun me around and started chopping me. And after about 3 of them, I hauled ass because the dude had like the hardest hands in the world, and he was beating the tar out of my chest, almost bleeding. So I left him a little note. Danny used to always travel with a camera, and I went to the dressing room because I was eliminated somewhere in some little crappy town. And I left him a note that said, F you and your chops. And I was over across the dressing room waiting for him to read it. And when he did, he started laughing. But Danny Davis, who helped you out, helped me out. Back to the Performance Center. Who are the guys training these cats in the ring?
There's actually a pretty decent crew. Bill DeMott, Norman Smiley, Nick Densmore's finally down there, Billy Gunn. I want to say there's a crew of about 7 trainers. And they also have a lot of WWE superstars are still based in Tampa. Some are now based in Orlando as well. So you have a current flux of WWE superstars coming in there.
Right. Now, they bringing the WWE superstars in there for a reboot, or just to filter through and drop some 411 on these cats?
I just think it's for more information. Honestly, they're giving the people who are down in NXT every single chance to succeed. I mean, their practices can go from camera straight to Connecticut, live time as it happens. Yeah, so not only do you have your trainers down there, but you have who's ever watching on the other end of that in the tower looking at you as well.
Might get an opportunity.
Yeah.
How often do you go down there?
Since it's opened, I've been down there 4 times.
Now, your day, what are you going to do? You going to go down there and give them a motivational speech? You down there drop some information on them? Talk about the road? I've
actually done different things every time I've been down there. First was a TV broadcast at Full Sail, and I was just advertised main event, so I was not on television. I was just afterwards for the house. But after I talked to the entire group, they have an auditorium set up that the group changes in, but I talked to the entire group and told them what an opportunity NXT was, because it is just that. Like, Triple H goes to every television taping.
Right.
You don't have a better chance of getting spotted by somebody than by him. Like that, every time you go through the curtain in NXT, you got a chance to break out.
Right.
And then another time was when I was rehabbing my elbow. So I actually got in and got in the ring and got to get in the ring with some of the guys. I just did a muscle and fitness shoot for a cover that's going to come out in Wrestlemania. I did it in a performance center, and I worked out with Antonio Cesaro, which he is another abnormally strong cat.
I've heard.
Yeah. And just wonderful in the ring. He is the stuff he does is pretty impressive. And I was down to the Performance Center itself just to take a tour of the place, check it out. And I wanted to talk to the students, but they didn't have anybody there.
What is Cesaro's background as far as strength goes? I know he's an athletic phenomenon. Is it powerlifting? Is it style lifting?
He's a little bit of everything. I think he's like me. He's been bit by the Olympic style lifting bug. He is just naturally strong. It's fun. It's fun to watch him.
It is fun to watch him, and I'll say this: I'd like to see him keep filtering through the process. I see a superstar in that guy.
So do I.
I think he's in the making. Yeah. I don't think he's found it yet, but I think he will.
I think the one thing he is missing is what we spoke about earlier. You have to find yourself, and you have to let the audience hold on to yourself.
That and he's got to be able to express that to Vince, and to go back to your point about Vince. Vince. And his vision and his foresight, the ability to see and understand things. The thing I always liked about Vince was if you present that guy with an idea, he will listen to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
He will lend an ear to anybody who's got an idea. Obviously, the higher up you're on the totem pole, he's just going to be to get to him. He's being pulled in so many damn different directions these days, it's hard to get a word in, but, I mean, he'll listen to it.
If I could use your airtime, because hopefully some of my colleagues are going to be listening.
Go ahead.
People think he's unattainable. And this is it is an individual business. It's built on individual personality. I am the guy who's the total other way. I'm a company guy. I'm a team guy. But if you're an individual and you have something you believe is successful, why don't you take it to your boss?
Right.
Why don't you take it? And I have this. I want to do this. Let him say no.
Right.
But a lot of people get stuck at that door, and that's where the gossip sites or whatever develop this black cloud of, there's this sort of politics and there's this sort of BS. The politics for me at the end of the day is to make sure our bottom line is the best it can be.
Right.
So if I got a guy who I think is going to make some noise out there, why wouldn't I push him? No matter what he looks like, no matter what he works like, we're in the business of making individuals.
Right.
And all creative can do is do its best to estimate what that individual wants to say.
Right.
And a lot of times, you got somebody that isn't you trying to create for you. And if you don't take your destiny into your own hands, you're going to be reading off a paper.
Okay, we're heading on the road to WrestleMania, number 30.
Yes.
God dang, 30 years.
Yes.
Going to the Superdome, right?
Yep, Mercedes-Benz Superdome, yep.
How's the road looking for you?
Right now, it's uncertain. Right, and this is that weird moment where if you don't win the Royal Rumble and you aren't the champion, even being the champion, the Elimination Chamber, we have that February Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, it's uncertain. And a testament to the WWE Universe is the fact that we've sold 60,000 tickets to WrestleMania 30 on virtually one competitor, not even a match, one competitor. So WrestleMania itself stands alone. I've looked at every WrestleMania I've been a part of, and this will be 10 for me. Every single year, Vince finds a way to do it bigger and better. So I don't know what we got planned, but I know it's going to be bigger and better than last year.
That's all I got.
That's all you got? I mean, that's it?
Well,
Here I am, wired for sound. I'm talking to Steve Austin. This is great.
I'm going to go make my way into, I don't know, I might go in the building.
I think you should. I think maybe you should be like, hey, Vince, I sat down with Cena. He was telling me you guys got an event in at the beginning of April, WrestleMania 31. I don't know.
I got a year to get in shape.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you giving me an hour of your time. I know you're busy as hell. It's very interesting to watch me continue your run. It's going to be one of the greatest in the history of the business when it's all said and done. It's already up there due to the amount of work that you put in. You're walking on a razor blade. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. You do it with class. You do it with a smile. I do this show for the working man, and I'm sitting right across the damn table from a guy who's working his ass off. John Cena, thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you down the road.
Steve, I just want to tell you before we go, when you saw me at the network launch, and I said I wanted to do the show, and you were like, I got my recorder right here or whatever. I'm not one of those guys who are like, yeah, you got a show, I want to do it, and then just give you the business and go.
Right.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I consider you an inspiration. I consider what you've done in the industry a benchmark that everyone should shoot for. I consider you a mentor, even though I wish we had more time together. I truly wish we had time in the box to dance because I think it would be the world's greatest attraction. But when I said I wanted to do this, I meant it. Not to just spend some time to talk with you, catching up, but because I truly look up to you, and it's been an absolute pleasure. Anytime you want me to come back, we'll work it just like we did this time. We'll find the time to do it. I'd be happy to be a guest anytime you have it.
All right, let's give big ups to our friends at Geico. Go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes, you can be saving 15% or more on car insurance. That's right. Save hundreds of dollars on car insurance at geico.com. Extra money in your pocket? It may just be the most rewarding thing you do today. All right, everybody, give me to go home, Q. Don't forget to rate and review the Steve Austin Show on Apple Podcasts and tell your friends to check us out. If you want to reach me here on the podcast, send an email to questions@steveaustonshow.com. I want to thank everybody for continuing to support my beer, Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA from El Segundo Brewing Company. We're going through some real tough times right now, and one of these days, hopefully in the near future, all these hard times and problems will go away and things will subside and we will return to a normal way of life. We have been so well received out there, and I try to answer all of your pictures that you send me on Twitter and try to give you a hell yeah or a cheers for all the people that are out there supporting Broken Skull IPA. It's the best IPA in America, and that's the bottom line. You can find Broken Skull IPA at Whole Foods and Total Wines if you live in California. If you're not in Cali, check out the ElSegundoBrewing.com website and click on Broken Skull IPA. We are in 17 states right now, and you can find the nearest location that will carry Broken Skull IPA that you can find it at. So I appreciate all the support. It means a whole lot to me, and I've really had a lot of fun with this beer. We've been brewing this stuff for almost 5 years now, and we're finally starting to really get into some cool places. So thank you so much for all of your support. I want to say thank you one more time to all the fine sponsors of the Steve Austin Show, especially BetOnline, Geico, Right Guard, and ZipRecruiter. That's how I'm able to do this podcast for you twice a week for free. Please support them because they support us. If you need more info, check out the show description to this episode for details. I ain't been out there riding at all because of all this social distancing and stay-at-home stuff to try to contain that coronavirus. But if you catch me out in the woods one of these days, you can damn well bet I'll be on a Kawasaki. Folks, until next time, my name is Steve Austin, and I will catch your ass down the road.
This has been a PodcastOne production. Download new episodes of The Steve Austin Show every Tuesday at PodcastOne.com. That's PodcastOne.com.
Hey, I got a new podcast coming. It's called Theory.
Don't you know?
This is Theo Rossi. Our world is changing. For many of us, it'll never feel the same. The important thing to remember is that we are all in this together. And that's some of what I want to talk about on my new show, Theory. We're going to discuss the things that no one ever does. The real talk, the sacrifice, and the struggle that everyone goes through. My life has kind of put me in a unique position to see things honestly. This is Theo Rossi, and my new show, Theory, launches on April 8th, officially on Spotify, PodcastOne, and Apple Podcasts.